Have you ever been jailed? You might think it's a strange question to ask. Because I'm sure maybe nobody here has ever been in prison. Maybe some of us have visited a prison. But we all know what it feels like to feel in prison. We all experience imprisonment within our own being. And we don't like it. We could be imprisoned in worry. We could be imprisoned in fear. There are so many ways we can feel imprisoned. And we all know that experience. And we don't like it. We don't like to feel trapped within. We like to feel free. We want to be free. In the Gospel of today's Mass, we read about John the Baptist, a great saint, and he's in prison. He is jailed. And he was the one who baptized Jesus Christ. In fact, we're told he was a cousin of Jesus. But now he's in prison. And he does a strange thing. He asks his disciples to go and ask Jesus if Jesus really is the one, is the Messiah. And that seems strange. Why is John the Baptist questioning that now? He baptized Jesus. He knew he was the Messiah. And why now is he questioning that? And I think that's what happens when we feel in prison. We begin to question everything. When we feel in prison, we begin to doubt. It happens to all of us. When things are not going well, we begin to question, we begin to doubt. We begin to say, well, does God really care? Or is the gospel correct? And that's what happens to us when we feel in prison. But it's good to question. It's healthy to question. It's healthy to have doubts. There's nothing wrong with it. But as we go through life, we all experience frustration from time to time. We don't like it. We all feel restless. There's something inside that isn't quiet and rest. Well, I'm reminded of the words of that great saint, St. Augustine. He said, my soul longs for rest, and it will not rest until it rests in God. St. Augustine was aware of his restlessness within him. He was in touch with it, and he realized that only God can give him true rest. And he felt his soul longing for rest. But he knew it wouldn't rest until it rested in God. And you see, each one of us, our soul is longing to rest. Everyone here right now, you're all experiencing a certain degree of restlessness. Nobody here is completely at peace. We all feel a certain restlessness. We all feel maybe a certain frustration. And what is that saying? It's saying that deep down within us, we know we must rest. And we want to rest. And we don't know how. The problem is that we are very deep. Every person here has great depth. We are all very deep. We're not shallow. But society forces us to live shallow lives. We go through our day and we're dealing with things. But we're not going deeply into who we are. We're not touching our own depth. And the spiritual journey is all about depth. Touching into your own depth, touching into the depth of God. I remember when the apostles, one night, they were fishing. And they were fishing all night and they caught nothing. It was a frustrating night. And Jesus appeared to them. And they told him about their frustration. They were fishing all night and they caught nothing. And Jesus said, why don't you cast your nets into deeper water? And they were surprised as he said that because they had been fishing all night. So they cast their nets into the deeper water and they caught enormous amounts of fish. And that's what Jesus is saying to us. Don't live shallow lives because you're going to be frustrated. Learn to go into the deep. And that's the spiritual journey. It's all about depth. We are very deep, every one of us. We are much more than we ever dreamed we were. We belong to God. And God is extraordinary. And because God is extraordinary, we are extraordinary. But life is so busy, and we're running around. And we don't have time to stop and reflect on who we really are. And so we feel frustrated. We feel restless. We wonder how it's all about. And we're preparing for Christmas. And this is the season of Advent. But what is Christmas? It's all about the coming of Jesus. And what is the coming of Jesus? The coming of freedom. He came to set us free. He came to release us from prison. He knows we feel frustrated. He knows we feel restless. He knows we have many questions. And he wants to set us free. And that's the journey. That's the spiritual journey. Jesus wanted to set us free. He wants to give us sight in the areas where we're blind. He wants us to walk in the areas where we feel we can't walk. He wants to bring us from death